Like so many moms, Alli Worthington knows what it's like to have a busy life. At one time, she and her husband each worked a full-time job, were raising 4 sons with one on the way, and were very active with church responsibilities. After years of trying but failing to do everything perfectly, Alli came to the realization that many people do. She couldn't do it all. She took steps to find her way out of chaos and into a life of balance. Now, she speaks to other women about how they can find balance too.
Many of us fill our schedules up with everything that's good, but if we are past our capacity, our physical limitations, then we're not going to enjoy it and we're not going to have a sense of confidence and calm about our lives.
In her new book, Breaking Busy, she shares how you can identify the signs of being too busy so you can find a pathway out.
Joining us now is Alli Worthington. And Alli, it's great to have you here. Before we get to the advice you have to give, and we're going to talk about how you know when your schedule is too busy, but share the cell phone story that you opened your book with. It certainly was a sign.
It was a loud sign. I had an early flight. I was trying to make it home to see my family after a business trip, and when the shuttle picked me up at the hotel, I did what every responsible, tired adult does. I promptly fell asleep. Woke up on the shuttle, got off at the airport, went in, shuffled my way in line, and realized that I had left my purse, or I'd left my phone in the shuttle.
Such a sinking feeling.
Going through my purse, I can't find it. I panic. And this sweet couple behind me, a gentleman and his wife, and I say, "Can I use your phone? I need to call my phone, and the shuttle driver will hear it, and I need my phone. Just give me your phone." So they hand me the phone. I dial my number. I look at him like, I got this under control. And I have the phone to my ear, and instead of it ringing and the shuttle driver answering, my bra starts ringing. When I was going to sleep on the shuttle, I just tucked it right in my extra pocket, and there I am in the middle of the airport calling my own bra.
And that ought to make us all stop when we have those moments and say, wow, I'm on overload here. What are some other signs that should tell us we need to think this through and reevaluate? Well,
For me, it's out of control emotions. I like to say my out of control emotions reflect the out of control demands that I'm putting on myself. So if I'm quick to snap at somebody or cry or, just be a little too snippy, I know that I need to get on my knees and talk to Jesus. And I need to get to my calendar and figure out how to give myself a little margin.
One of the things you said in the little clip that we saw before I introduced you was that you can fill your life with good things. And is that maybe the hardest thing for us to do, evaluate what good things am I going to eliminate from my life and my schedule?
Absolutely, because the world is just endless opportunities these days. I mean, especially thanks to the internet. There's always great things to do. There's great opportunities. And so it's easy to say, I'll cut out the bad things and leave the good, but what if they're all good? So what I had to do is start saying, these things are good, but I'm going to start focusing on the best.
Yeah. How did you, I saw your boys getting out of the van and they've got sports gear and all their equipment. And there's a lot of pressure on parents today, I think, to make sure your child has every opportunity known to man for personal development. So did you set up some kind of a guideline with your husband for what you would and wouldn't do? I mean, with 5 boys, you could be busy 24/7, 365.
Well, absolutely we had to. But the biggest thing for me is I realized when my older boys were younger, I was putting them in personal development activities to fulfill my own ego.
Yeah.
And because I didn't want to look like a bad mom. Because if my children weren't playing the violin and speaking Mandarin Chinese at age 5, surely they weren't going to get into college. Well, it's all garbage. So I had to just come to an understanding that it's not about me, it's about my kids. And now we have the rule that until you're in high school, you don't really have to do anything much. So the high school boys do. And the other kids, sometimes they play flag football, but most of the time they play out back.
Yeah. People, I think, also are busy because we're busy having the American dream, which for the most part, compared to the rest of the world, is having it all. You had it all, a beautiful house, cars, vacations, all the things that you wanted to do. And that all came to a screeching halt one day. But you learned from it. Talk about your experience.
Well, us having our big American dream and living in debt, and my husband's job came to a really fast end, and we ended up in foreclosure and losing everything we owned, but it taught us that we weren't to store up treasure on earth, that we were to look to God. He is our treasure. and live the life that we were created to live, and not buy into this false American dream of money.
Sometimes we can know those scriptures in our head, but actually walking them out almost takes having an experience where they are taken away from you, because who's going to give that up?
Yeah, I wouldn't have given it up on my own, and the Lord realizes that. Yeah. And we look back on that now. Even in the middle of it, we knew that it was for our own good, and we look back on it now, and we're so grateful that it happened.
Yeah, it actually changed the course of your life and defined your value system. You talk in the book about knowing your capacity. You know, that's really an important thing, because different people have a capacity to be able to manage different things. How do you determine what your capacity is?
Well, our capacity changes in each season. So when my kids were little, I didn't have a capacity for much, and I wasn't sleeping. So my capacity was probably 10%. I didn't have a lot of patience. I couldn't do a lot of extra things. I was just trying to get through the day. But now that the kids are older, I'm in a different season, and I do have greater capacity to do things. So I love the idea of living in a world where we're able to say, in this season, my capacity is low. I can't say yes to that right now.
Giving yourself permission to receive that truth.
Yeah, and then giving each other grace. You know, when we are in a season of overload and we can't take on more, it just helps us be so much more understanding.
I think for women, not to leave men out of the picture, because I think we're all on overload, but I think for women, usually we're the ones who know when the peanut butter jar is empty, when the baskets in the bathroom haven't been emptied for a while. You know, we're juggling so many things. You've written a book called Breaking Busy. What's the takeaway that you want women to have from this?
Well, when I was first discovering, you know, why we're so busy and what time management secrets we needed, I realized that time management really wasn't the key to breaking busy. Yeah. It was connecting with God, learning to hear from Him, knowing that we don't have to do more, be more, achieve more to have worth, that He gives us worth. Yeah. And when we stay focused on Him, we won't miss our destiny.
Yeah. And in fact, He calls us to quiet places, that when you're caught up in that mumbo jumbo of all of the hecticness, it almost feels uncomfortable, doesn't it?
It does, absolutely. Yeah.
Well, I just want to say that the book is an amazing kind of prick of your conscience to make all of us stop and think, wow, am I doing what I'm supposed to be doing, living the way I should be or could be? Do I give myself that freedom and that opportunity? Breaking Busy. It'll help you break the cycle of busyness, and it's written by our guest, Alli Worthington. Alli, thank you so much for being here. Great to have you here.